Welcome, Simone. I am so excited and so happy that you are here. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to join me. How are you doing? What's up?
I'm good. Well, I'm just starting my day today.
Yeah, I think this is an awesome way to start the day. I would love to learn more about you. Tell us about yourself. Where are you based? What's your day to day?
Well, I'm based out of Fort Worth, Texas. I should say that because no one knows where Fort Worth is. My day to day looks different every day. I try to sit down and write every day, or like have a few co-writes a week. I make sure to have at least one day a week where I can just focus on myself and see where I'm imbalanced and what I need to work on to ground myself throughout the rest of the week. I have a student that I teach on one day, and me and him usually write a whole lot. What else do I do? A lot of taking care of my house, my apartment. I also try to spend time reading and researching. I think I do mostly that, like emails, researching and reading about
Yeah.
this sync world that I'm trying to dive into and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I find that like being an artist and like your day to day does look different and varies from like what your purposes are, what your goals are. And it's so interesting to like see what other artists are doing every day and stuff like that. I'm very curious to know, what was the moment that you decided that you wanted to be an artist? Like, what was that like for you? And is that the same moment that you decided to just go for it, or are those two moments different moments? Like what was that journey like?
I think there were two different moments for me. I started writing when I was like 12, mainly to I didn't feel like I had anyone I could talk to or anywhere to understand all my emotions that I was feeling. And so I just started writing them down. And naturally, it kind of started turning into songs and stuff. And my dad had a 4-track recorder that he gave me. And so I would just be in my closet messing with all of that stuff. I've always loved music. I couldn't really see myself doing anything else really. I started playing shows and stuff when I think it was 18. I went to open mics and stuff, and then I realized I could get paid playing shows, and so I started doing that more, and somehow a few years into it, became my full-time job, which is crazy. And in between all that, I started recording music, and that's when I think I realized I need to create this artist image, or I don't know. I think that's kind of where the artist thing clicked in for me. I'm oh, I'm recording stuff now. What am I doing with all this stuff? I think I recorded my first EP in 2011, I think. So I was 21. Yeah, I guess that was about the time where I was what am I going to call myself? And I didn't know what my sound was going to be. I just had all these songs in my pocket and kind of went from there. And then the more I started performing and the more songs I was writing, it became more natural, I think, because it was always weird to me having to sell myself in a way, as an image and stuff. So it took me a few years to get used to that part, and I think I'm still not used to it.
It's been a journey into sitting into this position of being an artist. What does it mean to be an artist to you?
I don't know. For me, I always looked to artists as someone who's creating music that someone can relate to. And because when I started, I felt so alone in so many ways that I at first was just doing it for me. And then I just put it out into the world. And then I would get responses like, wow, thanks so much for writing that. This is literally my life right now. And I was whoa, someone else is feeling this too. And it made me feel less alone. And I think it made the other person feel less alone too. So in a way, that's helped me become more vulnerable with my writing and stuff, because I want people to be able to relate to my music and to feel like they're not by themselves. Or maybe there's a song that's just wow, these are all of my emotions I didn't know I could express. So it's a lot of healing work for me, I think.
Yes. Oh,
others.
We're so aligned. I totally feel that too. When I set out to actually start writing and like take this a little bit more seriously and like make an album, I very much just thought this is for me, and that's it. Like I'm not trying to impress anyone else. I'm just trying to get these feelings out of my system. And as people started to relate with that, it was kind of like the most magical thing. And I'm sure you can agree when like somebody like tells you this helped me, or my personal favorite, when I make someone cry in the audience, because you get it though, right? Like it's that proud mama feeling that you get when you were vulnerable enough to write something that was able to help somebody else finally break through a wall.
Yeah.
And like feel that emotion in a safe way, in a way that they felt seen and heard because somebody else was feeling that. That is the most magical thing. And I do believe that music is very healing. That's why I listened to music. Like growing up was like, I needed to find songs that could tell me in a more clear way what I was feeling so that I could understand my own emotions. And now it's kind of like, okay, now I'm older. Now I can express. Yeah, there's like a full circleness to it. Yeah, that's why I write songs. But what drives you to write songs versus poetry or short stories or novels or podcasts or essays? Like what is it about a song?
Yeah, because I do dabble in all the other stuff too. Maybe not all of it, but like poems, and I've always wanted to write a book and stuff. But I don't know, music, like I don't know if it's like the vibrations from the guitar or like the different vibrations you get when you're singing, because it's almost like when you sing you're like releasing stuff from your body. I don't know, it's like the whole process of it is so therapeutic.
Yeah.
I've written so many songs where I just some of them where I try to get to write them and I'm just bawling and I can't even start. And then once you break past that wall and you don't have to cry about it anymore, then you can finally write the song.
There's a release there.
Yeah. For me, that's different than writing poetry. Poetry that hasn't really ever made me cry necessarily, but maybe it's also because I like there's no sound to it. I don't know. Books I think are almost similar in a way because they paint a picture also, where like a song paints a picture, but then it also has that melodic like flow with it at the same time that makes the song completely, or the words completely different.
Yeah, there's this quote that I heard somewhere. I'm probably going to butcher it because I'm just kind of remembering it, but it's about musical theater writing. That's something that I've been interested in, and I would like to at some point write a musical. It's kind of like a writing tip, and it's like when the emotions are too strong to speak, then they must be sung. And when the emotions are too strong to be sung, they must be danced. Something like that.
I love that.
So I think that writing songs is kind of like that. So like I get dabbling in other forms of writing because I think that as songwriters, we can't help it. Like we just enjoy writing, right? So we're gonna write other things. And a song has that special lift that a poem doesn't have because of the accompanied sound that comes with it. The sound can travel versus like a short story or a book. They explore the same emotions in very different ways. Like a song is almost more ethereal, more spiritual than like a book. A book is still gonna get you there, but it's gonna be more meditated maybe because there's more context to it.
Very true. Where a song is better at like pinpointing a specific thing versus like getting the entire story also.
Yes. And I think that's what makes songs very relatable because they're a little bit open-ended. You don't need to be, for example, you don't need to listen to one artist's entire album to enjoy one song from that album. A book, you can't just take a random chapter out of it and know what's going on. I mean, I guess you could try. You could be like a book whisperer.
That would be interesting. Like, see if you can predict what had happened beforehand.
I really want to try that now. Just like have a random book and like open it in the middle and just make decisions. This is clearly what happened. I'm curious.
I love that idea.
Speaking of songs and how you write them, I would love to know more about your latest release, Divine. Where did that song come from? Who was involved in the project? Just walk me through it. Like, tell me all the things.
So it's a song that Marina Bennett and I wrote, and this was the first time we had written together. She is a genius in so many ways. And I think we were like brainstorming what kind of song we wanted to write. I've always wanted to write like a fun, poppy, female empowerment song. And then we started talking into like, what kind of female song do we want to write? And I feel like so many of us do this for some reason, where we don't believe in ourselves, or we feel like we're not worth it, or we're not good enough. And so we just kind of throw ourselves away and let all these, I don't know if toxic is the right word, but like all these people into our lives that maybe don't really need to be there, especially in relationships and stuff. That's when we started coming up with the idea of like writing a song of this woman who knows she's worth everything, and that someone has to really earn their way to get into their space.
Yes.
So we started like brainstorming with all that, and she had like a melody going, and I'm pretty sure we wrote this in 2 days. We had like a bass line or an outline of like the song, and we had a few blurbs of I don't know what we had first, if it was like the chorus or some of the verses, and I had a whole bunch of lyrics, and she started throwing lyrics in there too. And then we both got tired and rescheduled for a second day, and then the second day we just like knocked it out. We're like, wow, we have all this material. We were there with a fresh mind and finished the song, and then we talked about who would be good to produce it with, and we've both really enjoyed working with David Bashford, so he produced it for us.
Yeah.
She made me sing it. I was like, I don't know if I can sing this, but so I sang the song, and she did all the backing vocals, which are stunning. And
I recognized her vocals the minute that I listened to it. I was like, that's Marina.
It didn't take very long to produce it, I don't think, and we were pretty happy with how it came out like right off the bat. And then David ended up hiring a bassist, and so there's like a fun live bass on there too. I think that's the whole process of Divine. And then I recorded a music video for it too.
Oh my gosh. Dude, tell me about that.
I mean, I had this idea of I really wanted to have a whole bunch of different kinds of women in the video, or as many as I could like get a hold of. I just wanted us to like sing along with the song and dance and just vibe to it however we felt was us, whatever made us feel confident, and like how the song was written and stuff. Or Marina was in it. She shot it from her apartment in Vancouver, and then I asked, I think it was like 5 or 6 girls here, like my best friends in it, and all of these other girls that I have gotten closer to like within the past few years. Or like one of the girls, Taylor, I had just met her like a few weeks ago, which was super cool. I didn't have like the clearest vision. I just had that idea, and I wanted it to be colorful and kind of like the album cover of it. And yeah, I have all these like colored lights and stuff, and I bought a Lumi light that I put on a stand. So I was like playing with all the different colors because I wanted each girl to have different colors. I think we shot it in 3 days. I did mine separately. I was just doing a test shot, and I was like, I'm not redoing that, that's fine. I think I had 2 girls come over per day that we were shooting, and it was different process for all of them, except I think the common factor was like, can you guys like leave the room so no one's watching me? I think it was a little challenging for all of us. I wanted us to like look confident and like, I don't know if sexy is the right word, but like just very sassy like the song is. And I think some of us were, or pretty much all of us were like, I don't know how to like.
Yeah, it's a little bit out of your comfort zone. But I think that's really full circle when you think about what the song is, right? Like it is about becoming empowered, and my favorite line is I do what I want. Like, like hell yeah, do what you want. And I think that women are so often conditioned to not, I guess, serve everyone else, like in that specific sense, but like to kind of be moldable so that you can just fit in wherever you are. And so stepping in and saying, I am not the plastic stuff that you can mold, but I am just this, like that, you know. Am I making sense? You are the person. You are you.
You are you.
You are you. You are a human. And just being proud of that can be very difficult sometimes.
It can. especially because we all do look different, but I feel like we are all so beautiful in so many different ways. Like, and that's what I wanted to capture. I was like, just be yourself. Like, don't try and be sexy or something. Like one of the girls, she was just like, well, for me, being sexy is being funny. I'm like, then be silly.
Oh, I love that. So ahead of this call, I asked if you would write a little love note. This podcast is called Sunflower Love Notes, and I've always kind of thought of these love notes to be kind of like open-ended letters to whoever needs them. So if you would love to share your love note with us, I'd be so honored.
I actually, because I said at the beginning before we were recording that I didn't have anything, or I had something in mind, but then the way you worded it now makes me think I should play a little bit of something that I wrote. I wrote it for a songwriting, like a writing challenge thing. Mm-hmm. Or maybe I'll just read it. How about that?
Whatever you feel the most comfortable.
So I wrote this, the theme was motivation, and I get so many comments, and just myself included, where like you feel unmotivated or you have a hard time just seeing yourself doing these accomplished things that you want to do because life gets hard sometimes. Mm-hmm. And so I wrote this. I'm just going to read the lyrics. You say you're taking it easy because it's not your season. But don't you know, you make what you believe. And you've got your reasons, and I'd call them excuses. You can go as far as you believe. And don't you know that you are gold? Yeah, don't you know that you're a dream to me? You say you haven't been sleeping because your mind's always racing. But don't you know, you become what you think. And so pick your words wisely and talk to yourself kindly. Because you can go as far as you can see. And don't you know that you're gold? Yeah, don't you know that you are a dream to me? And then I repeat that again.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah. Oh, I love that so much. Thank you so much, Simone. Any last remarks? Anything that you would like to leave us with?
Well, I would like to say thank you for having me on here. It's always good to see your face. And I hope that everyone finds their song that their comfort song. I think it's very important to have a comfort song.
Yes. I hope you find your comfort song. Thank you so much, Simone.
Yeah, thank you, Maria.